And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Okay, a high wind warning actually is out until 6 a.m. Friday morning here for the central interior for winds gusting up to 60 miles an hour and also wind chills to 50 degrees below zero. And then there's a blizzard warning out here for the eastern Arctic coast and this portion of the North Slope there. And that's out until 6 a.m. Friday morning for winds gusting to 55 miles an hour. They're creating whiteout conditions, or at least visibility is less than a quarter mile at times. And to the west here, western Arctic coast, actually all the way Cape Lisburne, including Point Hope, winter weather advisory out until 3 a.m. Friday morning for winds gusting to 40 miles an hour. And visibility is reduced in blowing snow to maybe a quarter mile or less at times. And then there's a winter weather advisory out, or actually winter weather advisory out here for the areas north of Fairbanks. There for, winds gusting to 40 miles an hour there with wind chills also to 50 degrees below zero. And satellite imagery showing weakening front here that's lifted northward and brought some snow in across areas of south central Alaska today and precipitation along the North Gulf Coast, followed by a lot of showers here along the North Gulf Coast. They're all lifting northward today. Another band moving up, bringing more rain and snow to areas of the Kenai Peninsula, Cook Inlet, and in toward western Prince William Sound. Seward area seeing snow, kind of a mix depending on what location you're at, whether it's rain or snow. And showers over the Panhandle. This band moving in mostly to the south there, just skirting Dixon Entrance as it moves across the Queen Charlotte Islands. Another system here will be moving off to the northeast toward Dixon Entrance later tonight and tomorrow. And then the big low out here over the Bering Sea, right roughly in this position here, slowly moving east-northeastward and slowly weakening, keeping it windy and showery across the Aleutians up to the Pribilof Island areas. And saw those strong east winds going along the Arctic coast today. And rolling this again, you can see that low center drifting eastward here, approaching western Bristol Bay and the Alaska Peninsula. On the chart, right about in this position now, up to 965 millibars from its low of 937 millibars earlier yesterday. And the south-southeast flow across the Gulf pulling moisture in with areas of light snow and gusty winds extending all the way up into the Yukon Flats today. And precipitation amounts not all that heavy. Last overnight, Haines had about 10 to 12 inches of snow up in that area. That changed before it changed over to rain. And then Yakutat today picked up about half an inch of precipitation, while Anchorage, Kodiak, and Unalaska had about a quarter of an inch, and those are the heavier rainfall amounts reported around the state. Dry over the western interior and dry with clearing here over the North Slope to the Arctic coastal areas. And here's that next system well southwest of the Queen Charlotte's today that tonight will spread rain and wind up into the area there and begin to affect the southern southeast coast once again. Otherwise, showers continue to the north and all across the North Gulf Coast. Another trough swinging through keeps chances of snow showers, cloudy skies here over the south central Alaska area, mostly to the west and south of the Alaska Range. Some leftover light snow or flurries here along the Yukon River Valley area over toward Eagle. And winds continued gusty on the eastern Arctic coast and beginning to diminish here elsewhere, especially over the Aleutians and Bering Sea areas as this low tracks eastward, begins to fill. And you can see on the edge of the chart here, the outer edge of the next big storm that tomorrow afternoon will spread gale force winds into the central Aleutians with increasing rain as well. And the low center just coming onto the chart there. This low weakens along the southwest coast considerably now, so winds become light actually here for the southwest coast and the Bering Sea area, as well as the Alaska Peninsula, Kodiak Island, a couple of troughs keep it showery there, and still snow showers over the western interior, really scattering out over the Seward Peninsula, and from there northward dry, eastward into the interior dry with less winds tomorrow afternoon with fewer lines on the chart here. And still cloudy with a chance of snow showers south central Alaska, mostly over the mountainous terrain there. and periods of rain over the southern panhandle with gusty winds, dry to the north. And for the first day on Saturday, we've got dry conditions for the southeast coast. A weak trough right along the coastline there keeps a chance of showers over, say, from Sitka southward there along the coast of Prince of Wales Island, but that'll be quite light. Could see a fair amount of clearing over the inland areas there, as well as interior Alaska, but south of the Alaska Range, cloudy skies, mostly cloudy skies with still a chance of some precipitation. Western Prince William Sound, southern Kenai Peninsula, eastern slopes of the western Alaska Range. Then this big, powerful storm moves northward here, bringing anywhere gusts 60 to 80 miles an hour here for the central into the eastern Aleutian areas, maybe even higher than that, with strong winds and rain into the Pribilof Islands, Alaska Peninsula. Another dramatic increase in the winds here along the southwest coast and spreading into the interior through the afternoon hours, as well as northward up to St. Lawrence Island. Otherwise clear and colder now with more clearing here over the central and eastern interior, particularly down into the eastern North Gulf Coast. And for lows tonight, looking at temperatures mostly below zero north of the Alaska Range there, but not too bad. Definitely warmer than they have been up here over the northeast part of the state. Lows in the lower 30s for Bristol Bay, 20s to lower 30s for the Kenai Peninsula to mid 30s for Kodiak Island. And for the southeast coast, lows tonight mostly in the 30s as well as the Aleutians. And then for highs tomorrow, staying below zero, but not too far below for the Tanana Valley up across the eastern interior there to the Arctic coast, and a little above zero as you head out west. Then in 10 to 15 here, Seward Peninsula with lows in the mid-30s there for Bristol Bay, closer to 40 for Kodiak Island and Homer. Otherwise, upper 20s to lower 30s for south central Alaska, 5 to 10 the Copper River Basin, and in the 30s for the southeast coast. Then the lows a little colder for Saturday morning there, as you can see, anywhere from 15 to 25 below for the eastern interior up to the north slope, with lows dropping a little below zero, about 10 below for McGrath and Nikolai there, and anywhere from back into the teens here for south central Alaska, upper 20s down toward Homer and Kodiak, as well as the Bristol Bay area, and in the 20s to lower 30s for the southeast coast, followed by highs in the 30s for the Panhandle, mid to upper 30s for Bristol Bay, 41 for Kodiak Island, lower 40s here for the Alaska Peninsula and the eastern Aleutians, again with very windy conditions there, lower 20 St. Lawrence Island, minus 20 for the Yukon Flats, otherwise right around zero here over the western interior.